once mighty Tsar.
Long ago and far away is made possible by grants from the National Endowment for the Humanities, the Arthur Vining Davis Foundations, this and other public television stations, the George Gund Foundation, and General Cinema Corporation, and the Neiman Marcus Group, who are proud to help families explore the timeless world of children's stories.
These days, most stories go from here to here, from the mind of the writer to the printed page. But long ago, most stories were never written down. They were only told out loud because many people didn't know how to read or write. These were stories to be told and remembered and retold generation after generation from time immemorial. Stories that today are known as fairy tales or legends or epic poems. Stories that didn't have one author, but hundreds, even thousands, adding a detail here or changing one there each time the tale was told. Svatohor is one of those stories from the Russia of long ago. It is very old and very exciting. And if you listen closely, you can hear the voice of the centuries.
Under the sky, the immense vault of heaven. Far from the ocean, the glimmering sea. Three peasants look out on the vast steppes of Russia. What do they see? A thick cloud of dust rising far away, reaching to the sky. Ancient dust, 1,000 years old. It is Svatohor, the great Russian hero, upon his white horse, galloping, whirling like the cold mountain wind, returning at last to his home. The three peasants welcome the conquering hero home from a battle that lasted 10 years. What news of the Tsar and his brave young daughter, my beloved Maria? Peasants speak of treason, of Gorin Gorinitz, the treacherous dragon, come forth from the evil cave of darkness to claim Maria, our hero's betrothed. The dragon Gorinitz brought the Tsar a golden chain, the chain from the neck of the Tsar's greatest foe, false proof that the dragon, not Svatohor, had slain the enemy and saved the empire. For this he claimed Maria as his just reward. So that was the story the three peasants told. While Svatohor fought for the honor of Russia, the treacherous dragon had tricked the Tsar and stolen the hand of Svatohor's love. Dark powers of evil be gone. You cannot block the path of the hero. Svatohor finds his home deserted, with only memories still there to greet him. Many seasons had passed since, as a young man, Svatohor the hunter heard the plaintive cry of a great white swan. He followed the swan, determined to catch her, and left his home and his youth far behind. She led him away for days upon end, till he reached Kiev and the palace of the Tsar. It was a time of great sorrow for Tsar Vladimir. Murderous Tatars had invaded the empire, stealing its treasure, enslaving its people, weakening the once mighty Tsar. Maria the Brave, the Tsar's young daughter, went to his soldiers to beg them to fight. I will marry the man who conquers the Tatars, but not one dared accept and risk losing his life. Svatohor the hunter stared at Maria. She was as beautiful as the great white swan. He alone took up the sword to prove his love for the Tsar's brave daughter. For 10 long years, Svatohor battled to save Russia from the murderous Tatars and win the hand of Maria, our hero's white swan. Now, 10 years later, he must fight with cunning to save his beloved from Gorin Gorinets. He remembers the first time he fought the cruel dragon, spurred on by his love for Maria. He rode for a year on his horse like the wind, through too many nights, as the moon emptied its light and filled up again. Three obstacles he bravely faced on his path to victory. The first, a flock of ravenous birds whose wings held the magical power of flight. Next, a pack of bloodthirsty beasts, dangerous snarling wolves whose fur bestowed courage. But last was the worst. The treacherous dragon, Gorin Gorinets, evil ruler of the deep cave of darkness, whose gloves gave the master a terrible strength. Svatohor hardened his heart, grew many times stronger. The wings of the ravens held the magic of flight. Bravery lay in the fur of the wolves, but the dragon's gloves were filled with evil. Those gloves have been lost so many years before. Gorin it still holds dark power. Villainy, malice, and treason. These helped him to capture the hand of Maria, the Tsar's brave young daughter. And yet, the dark dragon fears Svatohor. High is the sky, the immense vault of heaven. Deep, very deep is the glimmering sea. Wide are the steps that stretch out forever. Most precious of all is Svatohor's love. The moon, as round as a wedding ring, looks down upon the humble hut where the two lovers rest. The candle glows bright as the happiness of the Tsar's brave daughter and lights the memories of Svatohor. He tells of his journey to the banks of the Dnieper, the great mother river, which had flowed through the ages, but now was all dry. No water, just sand. What happened, dear river? Svatohor asked. Why don't you flow as before? How could I flow, the river replied, when there, just behind me, thousands of Tartars have camped on my shores. Svatohor spurred his white horse, rode like the wind to meet the enemy. He lifted his club, the trunk of an oak tree, and scattered the Tartars across the wide steppe. Svatohor remembers and recounts his great deeds. Dazzled by the light of Maria's love, he does not hear the hammering of hoofs. The night is as dark as the heart of Gorenitz, a night so dark he cannot sleep. In his dark heart, there is only one wish, to extinguish all light with his treacherous evil. Outside the hut in the night he listens, as Svatohor speaks of his brave deeds. 3 days the sun did not set on the Dnieper. 3 days the steppes sobbed and wept, until the fierce Tatar chief was finally killed. In the quiet that followed, the sun once again rose. It was Svatohor's victory that gave birth to the day. But Gorenitz stole the Tatar's golden chain. It was a treacherous deed, the darkest of all. As the great hero Svatohor ends his story, the candle flame burns low. Yet Gorenitz does not sleep, but smiles in the dark of the night. Out comes the truth in front of the Tsar. It flashes like lightning across a clear sky. Svatohor, not Gorenitz, conquered the Tatars and saved the empire from destruction. The evil darkness is broken and the treacherous Gorenitz disappears forever into the night. Tsar Vladimir praises Svatohor. All Russia celebrates the marriage of the hunter to his white swan. Bells ring throughout the empire, across the wide steppes, past the swift-flowing Dnieper, spreading the legend of Svatohor the